What is going on, guys? Your boy Joey Shake 72 coming to you guys with a video right now. So I want to talk about Miles Sanders, just in general of, what he's going to bring to the 2021 season. I know we've already kind of talked about this, but I want to know the future of Miles Sanders. That's what I want to know. Is Miles Sanders going to be the future back in Philadelphia after his contract is up? What I'm afraid that's going to happen is the Eagles don't favor the running back position so much. I mean, remember after we drafted Miles Sanders and Howie Roseman went to the press conference and he was like, we actually draft running backs in Philadelphia, like stuff like that he says that, you kind of just like, okay, Howie, we get it. But obviously, we haven't drafted a running back that high in a while. So when you draft a guy like that, obviously he had some injury history a little bit. And obviously last year, 2020, probably should have had 1,000 yards. There were games where Doug just couldn't, adapt to the second half and keep the running game going when we ran good in the first half. Or there were other times when Miles Sanders was, had 5 touches a game, which is just not good at all. Okay, Miles Sanders, do I think he's an all, I don't believe that, it's not the 1970s, 80s anymore. Like, I understand, like, running backs back in the day, you could pretty much start them and that's it. You know what I mean? Like, you had running backs out there that were 3-down backs and you could have them in. But I think in today's NFL, you got to have that 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 punch in your backfield, which with the Eagles, they could have 3 to 4 running backs. I mean, you could have some new faces behind Miles Sanders with Kenneth Gainwell and Kerryon Johnson. If Boston Scott and Jordan Howard get beat out of their spots, which actually could happen. You have 8 running backs in competition right now to obviously give, Jalen Hurts some really good help. So when it comes down to it, I don't know what's going to happen. You have a couple 1 year, what if Anthony Harris balls out this year? What if, Eric Wilson at linebacker, pans out and does really well. Dallas Goedert's on a contract year. Josh Sweat's close to his contract being up. So there's a lot of different things going on with this team that comes to contracts. Obviously, getting rid of bad contracts, getting rid of Carson Wentz's contract is going to be a huge help because you don't have to pay a quarterback for another few years, another 2 years after this year. So at this point, with the running back position as well as linebacker, the Eagles don't, necessarily draft those positions high and necessarily don't extend those positions. You let Jordan Hicks walk because he had an injury problem and obviously at the time wasn't going to pay him $21-22 million guaranteed. But when you have a running back in here as Miles Sanders, a nice gadget player that can make guys miss, that can go out for passes, that could be a wide receiver on the field, that could break out huge runs, which I think definitely by now we all know what he could do. But obviously there is an injury little problem with him that, this year in 2021, the guy barely touched the ball last year, would have had 1,000 yards last year, I want this guy to go to his first Pro Bowl. I think he deserves it. You know what I mean? So it makes me really angry that last year could have been, I think he's going to be our breakout, one of our breakout candidates on offense this year because I think our line is great and I think our line has a lot of depth and obviously the injury problem is a whole different thing. And I say this when our guys are 100% healthy, but normally this doesn't happen. So when I look at a wide receiver, when I look at a running back like this and Miles Sanders, who I really love very much, and I think it's not even just his play that I really do like, and which I do like a lot. I think it's his attitude, his work ethic towards the game of football and towards this team, and is giving himself up to this culture 100% with the Philadelphia Eagles. I mean, this is a running back we never thought we would have. But with the Eagles, with Howie Roseman, if he is still here after this year because it's the last year of his contract, do you think that Miles Sanders will be extended? That's going to be something that a wait-and-see approach with this whole situation. Obviously, not after this year, but when his contract is up, guys, we have to see. And that's what I'm afraid of. I think there are teams out there that, don't depend on a franchise running back. They like to do the 1-2 punch. You have the Cowboys with Ezekiel Elliott. He's the main guy and really no one behind him. Obviously, they might get some pieces behind him, but the main threat is Ezekiel Elliott in Dallas. That's a perfect example. And then you have the Eagles team that could potentially have a 3 a ground for pound, 3 running backs. And I think it's great because if you have 3 or 4 running backs, you have a defense every single week that's got to prepare for these guys every single week. You know what I mean? So, you never know what you're going to get on the field, and guys can't, guys can't on defense can't get off the field to prepare for some of these running backs. So, you know, you get different skill sets. It may work in the end, but extending Miles Sanders, I don't know if that's in the Eagles' cards. Obviously, it's very early right now. But we're just gonna have to wait and see and just see what happens. Like, I would love to have a franchise running back here. I would love to have someone get paid. I would love to pay a running back and be that guy. But, you know, I feel like because Miles Sanders isn't the only guy, I feel like the Eagles are going to think that Miles Sanders is expendable in the future because they could have a few running backs. And I think by that time, we're going to find out who's on this roster. And if there are a couple good running backs behind Miles Sanders, I don't think they're really going to care too much if they pay him or not, but I would rather pay him. You know, and obviously I want to see what this year brings. You know, not a lot of tread on the tires last year, guys, because the guy barely played, barely had touches last year. And obviously when Jalen Hurts played, you know, his reps went up a lot because of that read option, the RPOs and all that. So you got to think of it into that account as well. So to kind of go into all that. But other than that, guys, I want to know what you guys think about Miles Sanders. Do you think he will get extended in the future? Do you think, you know, because of having good running backs behind him, do you think he's expendable? So need to think that through. But hey, it's something to talk about. Other than that, guys, I'll see you guys later. Shakes go up, follow us. Peace out, guys. Peace.